What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just Be SN podcast, and today we have the NFL Draft, the 2025 NFL Draft preview for you guys this fine evening. We also got a little bit of Cavs talk that we will get into here shortly. We're going to start with that, get a quick Cavs talk in because they're currently playing right now in game 2. Obviously, the Cavs took game 1 from Miami, so Cavs are looking to go up 2-0 in this series. But yeah, got tons of NFL draft talk to discuss as the NFL draft begins tomorrow night. Pretty much at this time right now, tomorrow, the Browns, so many names, the Browns will be making their selection or have already made their selection. So Andrew, how are we feeling between the Cavs going on right now? I know the Gardos lost today, but still had a good series. And then obviously then the NFL draft finally coming after all of these weeks of talking about it. We're finally here.
Yeah, we're finally here, and it's just that's just the perfect word for it. It's just finally. We've been talking about it for weeks. We can finally just watch the draft tomorrow and actually stop talking about it and being done talking about it and what the Browns are going to do, because we're going to figure out what they're going to do. Now, obviously, we'll talk about it after the fact to discuss the picks that we've made, and obviously if there's been any trades that have been made as well. But I'm more excited to talk about that part of everything, and rather than, well, I think they're going to do this, I think they can do this, I think they're going to do this. I'm tired of the thinking and the guessing, and I'm just more about the let's just do it now and let's just get it over with and just discuss the after part. I'm tired of these bullshit narratives now, and I'm tired of it. I just want to get out of it and be done with it.
Yeah, dude, I am beyond ready for tomorrow to happen. I'm
insane,
beyond ready for this to finally just be laid to freaking rest. Like, no matter what the Browns do, if the Browns decide to go Shadur, if they decide to go Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, if they decide to trade back, if they decide to kick rocks, I don't give a flying F. I just want this to be over with so we can finally start talking about who is on the team and how we are going to plan for this season, because we obviously have voluntary workouts going right now. We heard from Joe Flacco today. I think we heard from Denzel. I don't know if we heard from the coach or not yet, but everybody's starting to work out right now. Everybody's getting back into the flow just in time. So here soon we're going to be in rookie mini camp, and the next thing you know, you're going to have voluntary workouts, mandatory workouts, OTAs, and the next thing you know, it's going to be July, and then we're going to be getting ready for the season. So football goes quick once the draft ends. And I think that's what everybody is really just looking forward to. So yeah, man, I'm very excited for that. But before we get into the draft and Browns talk, I do want to quickly go over our beloved Cavaliers, who are right now currently squaring off against the Heat, I believe. So the unfortunate part is right now the game is blocked out for us. We cannot see it because it is on NBA TV, and apparently they just blocked it for whatever reason. Makes absolutely no sense to block a playoff game. But the Cavs are going on a little bit of a cavalanche right now. Hunter has 2 threes right now. He's got 8 points out off the bench. Mobley is the high point man with 10. Merrill has hit a 3. Jerome has hit a 3. And basically everybody's just sort of getting back into the flow. So Cavs are up 39-30 at the moment in the second quarter. So still very early on. But what do we like about this so far? Because I'm going to tell you what. The one thing that I said leading up to the playoffs was I really wanted Donovan to really set the tone for the Cavs. And I believe in game 1, he absolutely set the tone for us and said, hey guys, I'm here. Let's go get this shit. And he was diving for balls. He had 4 or 5 steals, I think, in the game. He had, he had 30 points, didn't shoot the ball from 3 well, but guess what everybody else did? Garland hit like 5 or 6 threes. Jerome went off for 28 off the bench, which was gigantic. people are going to really find out who Ty Jerome is during this playoff run. I'm going to tell you that right now. But Sam Merrill was throwing in some threes. Strus threw in a couple threes, especially at the start. But Jerome was really the guy that really held it down towards the end. And it was an overall effort from the Cavs. But again, Donovan setting the tone was so important. And as the leader of this team, you don't have to be the highest scoring man, but setting the tone and setting the example for everybody else, saying, hey, it starts with me and everybody else can follow. I fucking love that. I am so happy that he started the game the way he did. So aggressive. Both him and Garland were going to the rack a ton. They were not settling for a ton of threes. And if they did shoot threes, they were actual good looks. It wasn't forced. Mitch had one or two that was probably, a little bit forced, but, the way the ball rolled, the Cavs just played good on defense. And they were able to sort of dial in. So game one was a solid lock. What did you like from game one that you saw from these Cavaliers?
I mean, it's everything you said. I like the physicality that they had to start with the jump. Like you said, they were diving for balls. They were being aggressive, aggressive on defense. This is a completely different team than we saw last year and 2 years ago, where they were kind of lackadaisical a little bit on defense. They didn't try because they didn't want to get into foul trouble, and they were worried about people getting into foul trouble. And now they're playing good, tough defense. They're diving for loose balls. They're getting rebounds. Jared Allen was appreciating game one. He had 12 points, 11 rebounds. He had a very crucial. He also had, I think, 3 steals too himself.
Yeah,
which is huge for a big man like himself. Yeah, he had 3 steals. Mitchell had 4 steals. Garland had a steal. I mean, it was just a collective effort. Mitchell, Garland, and Ty Jerome all above 25 points.
Wow.
I mean, as long as you can get these guys going, and especially too, if you can get Garland to just continue to play the way he's playing, that's the biggest thing that we need, is that Garland needs to continue to step up the way he has in the last few games.
Right.
Because it's been so much of a difference as Donovan Mitchell just drained a 3 from the logo. I mean, this is what's setting the tone, is guys like Mitchell and Garland absolutely going out there and taking the matters into their own hands. We just got a very scrappy steal just now. So, again, it's just one of those things where the boys are just flopping over the floor, getting steals, getting turnovers. The Cavs have caused 6 turnovers already in this game. So, it's that aggressiveness. It's that defensive aggressiveness that's been taking over so far this series in the first game, and even tonight, as we go up 13. It's the boys playing hard, and I think it's the mindset of having. There's another steal and a pop and 3 from Strus. I think swapping Bickerstaff with Kenny Atkinson completely changed the mentality of these players, and they almost have even though this team is still young, it's almost like a now or never attitude with this team.
Right.
Like, if we're not going to win it now, we're never going to win it. And I think Kenny has built that into their brains. Like, listen, it's now or never. Meanwhile, with Bickerstaff, it's like, oh, we got 5 years of this guy. We got 3 years with this guy, 4 years. We're fine. Yeah. We got time. Yeah. And now it's like Atkinson's making you feel like, oh my God, we only have 1 year with Mitchell and Garland and Allen Mobley. Or we only have 1 year left with these guys. And it's like, in reality, we don't. But it's like, we have to win now or it's never going to happen.
Pretty much.
These boys are playing so much better. We just had 2-3 steals in a row and 2 and 3 threes from those steals just now. We're almost up by almost 20 again. So it's this aggressiveness that I've been liking on the defensive side that's been transitioning to phenomenal offense. And I think Kenny Atkinson really brought that mentality from when he was the assistant coach of the Warriors and said, listen, this is how we won this chip. Even when LeBron left you guys and we won that chip again, this is what we did. And he really brought it. So I'm glad we have him as a coach. Don't get me wrong, JB was great. He's doing great with Detroit, but I think the mentalities have changed.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell because the boys wanted JB out last year, and they're playing so much better this year.
I really think that the boys started to lose respect for JB because of the way that he was treating them. He was still treating this team as sort of the young guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's why JB just does better with a team like Detroit, who are all young guys. Like literally every single key player on that team has been drafted within the last few years. Like that is what Detroit is being made up of. And now they are a good team, but like that's the type of team that JB does well with. And once Detroit sort of outgrows him, like the Cavs did, they're going to move on from him. And then JB's going to go to the next project. He's not a bad coach. He's just a sort of systematic coach. He's very defensive minded.
Yeah.
But he is so damn bad with his rotations. And it's going to cost Detroit big time in the future. I already know it. I already know it. But luckily for Detroit, they're playing a team like the Knicks who are equally as bad as doing that with their fucking rotations. The only team I think that's worse than that is the Lakers. And that's because they don't have many people to even play. They have 6 or 7 guys that they can consistently play because Jackson Hayes is unplayable right now in this series. And he's the only 7-footer that they have. So they have no big guys at all. So again, it's a luxury. Kenny has the respect of the guys, but he also is a well-rounded coach. He respects his players. He treats them as professionals as he should, and not these college kids that are coming into the pros the way that JB did, which still boggles my mind because even though the Cavs were still fairly young, like Donovan's about my age, I think. Garland's in his mid-20s now. Strus is in his mid-20s, if not older now. Jerome has been in the league for 4 or 5 seasons. Same with Isaac Okoro, Hunter. All of these guys have been in the league now for a little bit. Like you could consider some of these guys seasoned vets. Jared Allen, I feel like has been in the league forever, and he's only like 25 or 26. So again, like it's understandable because the guys were young, but man, it was just such a flop by JB the way that he handled it here. And I am so glad that the Cavs saw that, said, okay, this is the problem. Here's how we're going to fix it. And we said that from the start when we were like, man, JB has got to go. He is such a problem. We see this time and time again. And now look. And as a result, players that we didn't play as much under JB because he didn't trust him. Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome, now Hunter, Isaac Okoro didn't get as much time. Like key guys are playing key pieces to this team. Sam Merrill, shout out to him for game 1 and game 2 because he's shooting freaking lights out right now. But dog, Sam Merrill's minutes. I don't know how many minutes that he played in game 1, but he played some of the best on-ball defense I have seen a white boy play since Matthew Dellavedova. He had such great minutes. And again, he has the ability to be that sharpshooter. The Cavs are just, dude, they're a really hard team to beat when they are on like this. When they are all systems go, when guys are flowing like they have been currently right now. I don't know what the score is at the moment.
It is 53-39 Cavs.
So they're still sort of rolling. It's when the Cavs are getting into even Isaac Okoro just made a 3-pointer. He didn't make a single point last game. So everybody off the bench is playing pretty well. And the Cavs are playing 10 guys deep right now.
Yep.
10 guys deep in the playoffs is unheard of. Strus has 12. What the hell? It's anybody can go off on this team. Anybody.
Yeah. And that's the
on
thing.
any given night.
Yeah, he just banged a 3. Anyone can get it. And that's like we said, this is the big key of what's changed under Kenny Atkinson is that anyone can make a massive impact on this team. It's not just Mitchell, it's not just Garland, it's not just Mobley, it's everyone. Merrill's coming on. Like you said, he played great defense in game 1. Game 2, he's hitting buckets. Jared Allen had a double-double. Evan Mobley obviously showed why he was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
these guys are absolutely they're feeling themselves. They're really feeling it. And when you have, again, Ty Jerome with 28 points in game one, that's unreal for a bench player to come off in his first playoff game because he didn't get much playing time under, Steve Kerr in Golden State.
Right. Well, I mean, he did have a ton of different, in injuries and stuff, but he
Yeah.
had 17 points in the fourth quarter alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
it
was,
was him and Donovan going back and forth,
yeah.
and then Garland chipped in toward it.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Well,
It was just
yeah.
it's
And
fucking beautiful.
that was the thing. Like when they went off, Garland would come in and just continue the trend. And we both said that's the biggest key in these playoffs is when these guys go in and out. It's the next step. It's the next step, next man up mentality, whatever. Because there's gonna be a lot of moments in these playoffs where, yeah, Garland and Mitchell are gonna be starting together, but then you're gonna see mixes of like, okay, in the game is gonna be Mitchell with Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, Jared Allen, Max Strus, and then Garland's going to come in with, Mobley and, all these other guys, Merrill, and they're just going to be knocking things down.
Yeah.
And I think Kenny has really got these rotations down. And these weren't really rotations we saw in the regular season. So I think he was scheming these in practice that no one could see them. And he's rolling them out in the postseason, and it's working.
Right.
It is working. We're up 15 with 4 minutes left to go. 15.
It's because he trusts his guys. JB
Yeah.
didn't trust the guys besides the first five. He didn't trust the bench.
That's why they played 40 minutes and then we got exhausted and ended up losing steam.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing with Detroit. They're going to lose a lot of steam because their guys are playing 40 minutes a night.
Yep, the Knicks as well. The Knicks are going to be the same way.
Luckily, they're playing each other, so it's whoever loses
right.
steam, whoever loses steam first is going to be losing.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, I'm not going to be surprised if that series goes 7 games.
I
the
wouldn't
Knicks I mean, the Knicks just lost. They almost lost game 1. Like they were very close to flopping.
It took a 21-0 run for them to win that game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd probably be down 2-0 right now.
Which would have been wow. Knicks fans would be probably doing some horrible things to themselves.
I would have something to say, but I don't want to say it because I don't want us to get canceled. I have so much that would get us canceled, but I can't say. But yeah, I mean, they would if it wasn't for that 21-0 comeback, they would be down by 2-0,
right,
going into Detroit. So it's something truly crazy, and I mean, Jared Allen with a massive slam with an assist from Strus, and these guys just keep rolling. I know I'm a little bit behind on this. It's 65-47, so we're almost up by 20. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's insane. It's insane how quickly the Cavs can go. And listen, theoretically speaking, the Cavs should sweep the Heat. But I have given the Heat at least one game. I think it'll go 5, just because I think they can easily get one at home, and then the Cavs make some sort of moves, and then they get back, and then finish it in game 5. But again, they should be able to sweep the Heat. The Heat are not a fantastic team. I mean, they're certainly not horrible. They are an experienced team, but they are a little older. Besides Hero and Davion, that team's. I mean, Bam is older. Obviously, you have not seen Love. He's out for some sort of personal reasons. I don't know what's going on with him. And they don't have Terry Rozier as well. I mean, when you don't have guys that are key components, I guess Wiggins is cool, but he's getting up there in age as well. He's been around forever now, it seems like.
Drafted in 2014, so this is his 11th season.
Yeah, so I mean, he's above at least 30 now. Has to be.
Yeah.
So again, it's imperative though, and as you said earlier, this team, this staff understands that the Cavs have a legit opportunity to win this thing. They have a legit shot at it. So in order for them to go get this. They have to be ready for the moment. And I just think they are led by the correct coach. I believe they are led by the right staff. And we all knew that we had the players, we had the the personnel. Obviously, Jerome doing what he has been, you couldn't call that, but to have him step up, Sam Merrill step up and have key minutes. Like, dude, do you remember last year when we were like, dude, where is Sam Merrill? Like, we know what he's capable of. He had that big game where he had scored like 28 points on like eight of 8 shooting threes or something stupid. And we're like, dude, this guy's a sharpshooter. Like, you need to give him minutes. You need to give him confidence. JB never could do that. Kenny just seems to bring out the confidence in everybody. And I think it's just because he lets them play within their game. That's why Ty, I think, fits this team so well, and why I don't think he's going to want to leave anywhere else, because he knows he's going to have the confidence to play his game at a place like Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because of Kenny.
And I saw something earlier too, that the Cavs will be able to match or better any offer for Ty Jerome when the season's over. So it sounds like he's more than likely going to stay in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I think he's more than happy to stay in a team like this, because they're playing him and he's helping this team become a massive contender. And I mean, I'm sure we're going to hop off here in a second and do some NFL draft, because we kind of went over our limit of what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Point is, though, the Cavs are killing it, and they have a huge opportunity at hand for sure.
Yeah, and I want to end it with the fact that, again, Sam Merrill in 9 minutes has 6 points with 2 threes, 2 of 3 for shooting. And the Cavs, and I'm sure you're going to love this, as of right now, the Cavs are at 60% field goal shooting and 60% three.
I mean, when the Cavs are shooting that well, they are an impossible team to beat.
Yeah, you're not going to beat that team.
And obviously, you're not going to get that every night. But when you have games like this in the playoffs, like, you got to take full advantage of it, and just absolutely this is one of those games where if you can decimate them enough, you sort of take the wind out of their sail.
Yeah.
So, or at least start to, because once they come back home, they're going to have a little bit of that, okay, we can breathe again, but you just can't let them breathe again. But yeah, Cavs at halftime right now up 68-51. So that is a good place to end on Cavs talk. And once we get through the draft and stuff, we will obviously be locked in on Cavs, because it is very imperative that we stay the course on this run. And honestly, we could even stream a couple games at some point, especially once we get deeper into the playoffs. So, we'll certainly discuss that. But
for sure,
the main event, the main thing that's going on right now that everybody else keeps talking about is the NFL draft. Starting tomorrow night, we're finally here. Dude, we've obviously not been talking about it the last few weeks because we've just been so burnt out over how much talk we've had to have. And it's not even just us. It's the radio stations. I mean, you can't listen to The Fan. You can't listen to ESPN Cleveland. You can't listen to any podcasts without it being mentioned. What are the Cavs going to – or what are the Browns going to do? Who are they going to take? Should they trade back? Or it's these guys are making these random cases for guys like Jalen Milroe and Tyler Shuck. And it's just like, holy fuck, can we just stick on one thing first? Like,
nope.
The amount of jumping back and forth that radio stations have done for months now has been out of this world. So I am excited for this to just end in terms of we get to see, are the Browns going to flop, or are they going to be smart and choose the guy that they truly believe in, whether that's Hunter, whether that's Abdul Carter, whether you trade back a few picks and decide to go for Shedeur, or you go after Hunter and then you trade up for Shedeur. Like, there are so many different possibilities with a ton of different positions that you really don't know what the Browns are going to do, and that's why they sort of hold the fate for what the rest of the draft is going to be like. because we all know the Titans are going Cam Ward at 1. That is like, if they don't pick Cam Ward, that's when the Browns are going to be like, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
but
easy enough.
Yeah, but like, I just don't think that's going to happen. Cam Ward is going to go 1. Dude, where's your gut feeling at this point? Because I have mine, and we probably do a line on this, but what is your honest gut feeling saying the Browns are going to do at 2?
My gut feeling is still the same. I think it's going to be Travis Hunter. I think they take Travis Hunter, and you take, when you're in these positions, you just take the best available. And I know it's enticing to want to trade down to get more and see what you can do with more, but this is an opportunity to take a guy who could play number one, play both sides of the ball.
Yes,
which would be huge for you, because that just knocks out 2 positions in one go.
It does.
But also too, I think picking Travis Hunter gives you more options of what to do at other positions, because now you have an elite level talent at the wide receiver and at the corner position. You can do whatever you feel like after that. And you don't have to worry about wide receiver for the rest of the draft. You could go another maybe backup DB or safety, obviously, later on. But it takes a lot off of your plate. And it's intriguing of what we could do with that 33rd, because that's the big question too, is if you get Travis Hunter at 2, what do you do with that 33rd pick?
Right.
Do you save it? Do you move it up and try and get Shedeur if you can? Do you sit and take Dart if he falls? Do you say, screw it, we're going to get someone else at 33 and we're going to just chance of Will Howard maybe in the 3rd round?
Or Shook. Or Quinn, like whatever,
Yeah. So you have a chance to take any of those QBs, Schaff, Howard, whatever, Dart. If you want to take any of those, you take any of those. I know the thing is high on Jalen Milroe. I can't really see it. The comparisons are to Lamar Jackson and, to your Josh Allens, and everyone's so hyped up about the 4.3 he ran in the 40-yard and the absolute cannon of an arm that he has. But it's in reality, can he develop into a solid passer? And that was the big question with Lamar Jackson, was could you develop him into a guy who can pass the ball?
Right.
And if you can't, then you basically just have a glorified running back at the QB position.
Yeah, essentially.
And luckily, Harbaugh is a great head coach and can work with a guy like Lamar Jackson and be able to help him throw the football, at least at a good enough level to where they can not have to rely on it much, but he could throw it when he has to and be a good thrower.
Right.
Now, I'm sure you're going to do that with Kevin Stefanski and Jalen Milroe and obviously Tommy Rees. But do you really trust that? Or do you go with guys who are already good throwers, like a Dart, like a Howard?
Right.
And again, Howard can run the football. So do you take a guy who has a Josh Allen-like build and Josh Allen-like cannon and a Josh Allen-like mentality, or do you just say whatever? So there's so many options, but for me, my gut feeling at 2 is Travis Hunter, and I think that's what should be done.
Yeah, I mean, look, the way that Andrew Berry has talked about Travis just makes me believe that they are going to take him at 2. I feel like it's really hard.
Almost guarantees it.
Especially when you compare him to Shohei Ohtani. Like, as soon as he threw that comment out, I was like, okay, he fucking loves Travis Hunter. And even when you go back a while ago, like this is before the combine, he was speaking pretty highly of Travis Hunter. So it's no surprise. Everybody just kind of fell in love with the fact that, hey, the Browns need a quarterback. They have to take one. And then people started really starting to fall back on Shedeur. And I think that's going to be one of the bigger stories, if not the biggest story, obviously, in this draft is A, where does he fall? And B, how far does Abdul Carter fall if he doesn't get chosen by the Browns?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's talk that he, wants to go to the Eagles. The Eagles are the last fucking pick in the first round. So unless the Eagles pull a rabbit out of their hat, they're going to try to go after some sort of D end. Because they just lost some in free agency. Again, although the DN draft for this year is very stacked, they don't necessarily need to do that, but that would be the most Eagles fucking thing ever. It would infuriate me. But how far does Shedeur go? Like, does Shedeur end up going to Pittsburgh? Does he go to Oakland? Does he go, there's really nowhere else. The Saints, maybe. Other than that, like, after that, if he falls past the first round, the Browns could very well take him in round 2. And if they do that, I think you feel a lot better about taking him because it's not as big of a risk. It's way less money, and it's not as big of a commitment. And you're not able to really force him out there until later on in the year, or you let him sit for the whole fucking year. And that's the thing that, like, that's this weird gut feeling. And I said this for Mark a few weeks ago, and pretty much the last time we talked about this. After hearing how Barry was talking about Milroe, I just have a bad feeling they're going to go after Milroe. And look, I'm not saying that Milroe is the worst possible candidate, although I have pretty much said that. I don't think he is the worst candidate. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's a great kid. And he very well could turn into that sort of Lamar Jackson type of player. But he is a project. He is a guy you have to be patient with. You cannot throw him out there too early. And you can't ruin his confidence because he's got a massive arm and he's obviously incredibly athletic, which could get him out of some big trouble. And he's big enough to take hits, which was not like Lamar. Lamar came into the league pretty fucking small. I mean, yeah, he's tall, but Lamar weighed like what, 205, 210, I think, coming out of college. I'm pretty sure Milroe's around like 220-ish. Huge hands. So athletically speaking, he is gifted, but it's so funny the sort of floor and ceiling for him. Like, floor is like Jamarcus Russell, and then ceiling is like Jalen Hurts sort of vibe, but a little bit more athletic than Hurts. And if you can get a Jalen Hurts out of him, sure, then that makes sense. But again, you have to be patient with him. You have to be patient with him. And so that's why, for me, it's hard for me to gut that because I don't trust the Browns to be able to properly bring him in and not fuck it up. They fucked it up with Deshaun Kaiser. They fucked it up with DTR. They basically fucked it up with Baker. I mean, they really ruined his confidence, especially after year 1. I mean, he broke the rookie record for quarterbacks for touchdowns. Like, he had an excellent rookie season. And yes, he still threw a ton of picks, but it wasn't as bad as year 2. And then year 3, we go to the playoffs. And it's like, okay, great. We're doing right. No, it was year 4, I think. It was one of the years. Anyways, Stefanski's first year, he finally unlocks it after dealing with Freddie and all that other shit that we had to deal with in 2019. My God, that was so bad. So yeah, it was year 3. But you unlock him. He has like that 26 touchdown to like 9 interception year. Just a very efficient year, very good running game. And ever since then, the Browns really haven't been able to sort of dial it back and really get good quarterback play out of really anybody. I mean, besides Flacco. And that's the only reason why he's back. And the sad truth is Flacco's 40. And I don't even think he's guaranteeing himself a chance to start. I mean, he's going to get a crack at it. But him and Kenny are going to be the ones that are going to duke it out. And if you ask me, dude, it's probably going to end up being Pickett. Like Pickett is probably going to get the starts. And the Browns are going to try to hope that he has sort of a Sam Darnold like comeback. Truthfully speaking, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to play that well in Seattle. I think he was a very much system quarterback that fell in love with the Viking system. And that's why Kurt had so much success and why he struggled in Atlanta. When you have a quarterback that fits a certain type that you have, it can make the difference. That's why Baker played so well his first year with Stefanski. And the Browns have a ton of needs. So it's going to also be interesting to see how the Browns decipher what to put up front more. And let's just put out this hypothetical because I heard this on the radio and I thought it was hilarious, but also kind of intriguing. If the Browns say they decide to move back to like 6 or 9 or something, like within the top 10, if that running back is there, Genty, it could very well be a possibility that AB shocks everybody and says, hey, I'm just going to get the best running back in the league. Fuck quarterbacks. We're just going to run the ball. And then you'll draft a Jalen Milroe and be like, hey, stop this. And it's like, would that work under Stefanski? Probably not. But
no,
it's kind of funny to think about. And then the other thing that we saw on Twitter today that I shared with you and Sean, if we take Hunter, instead of playing him at corner and wide receiver, you would play him at wide receiver in safety. Dog. Yeah. That to me sounds way more appealing. It makes a ton more sense because you're taking less responsibility off him, especially if you just put him as a free.
Yeah.
If you put him as a free, all he's got to do is play zone the whole time. And he's big enough to go up for balls. He's physical enough to make tackles, and then he can still play receiver plenty well. Dude, that's why Travis Hunter does make the most sense at 2. And it's not that I'm going to be mad if they take Carter, because obviously Carter is a very great DN. But to be honest, I think he's a little undersized. I think Carter is going to have some rough patches in his rookie season because he's fast, he is strong, but he's undersized. We would need to get a bigger D-end than him. And there's plenty of D-ends to do it. And in this draft, so that's why I wouldn't be too concerned with it. And then obviously the running backs. I'm telling you what, my top 3 running backs, the Browns need to go after. One of the 3. One of the 2 Ohio State guys. Yeah. I'm counting that as 1. Hampton or Caleb Johnson from Iowa. All of those guys would fit the Browns perfectly. And even Giddens would be great. The guy out of Florida would be great. Martinez. He would be great. But I want a running back that's around that 5'11" to 6 foot, like a sort of bigger running back that's got speed, but also just has the vision, can handle the reps. Because if you do bring back Chubb, you have to have a bell cow behind him. You cannot rely on Chubb to run the ball more than 10 times in a game. So there's certainly a lot that I just said there. Curious to see just kind of some of the guys or just some of the just some things that you want the Browns to do in this draft. Not even just in the first round. I just mean throughout the draft. What are some guys or what are some needs that you really think the Browns have to put in the forefront more in order to sort of round out the staff?
Well, obviously, besides the obvious of the quarterbacks and wide receiver, I really think and I'm sure you've heard this thrown around too, but the possibility of potentially trading Greg Newsome with one of the picks, whether it be 2 or 33, to see if you can't get a massive haul. So if you don't want to go down the route of maybe you play Hunter Moore as a wide receiver and a free safety, or you just play him more as a wide receiver and not too much as a corner. Corner is definitely going to be a big need for sure. Because even when you draft Travis Hunter, I still think you need to get another one just as a for sure backup. Because you can't, because obviously it's definitely a position where you can't have, it doesn't hurt to have too many of them.
No, not at all.
So that's a position I would like to for sure up again, is for sure up that secondary for sure, whether it's a safety, corner, both.
Yeah.
That's secondary because we obviously know what they're going to do. They're going to build up that linebacker core, and they're going to build up the defensive line throughout this draft, and that's going to be a lot of their picks is that defensive line and linebacker core.
Right.
But I would like for them to for sure up the rest of the defense, get that secondary going. The biggest one I will say is the biggest need is definitely offensive line.
Yeah.
The biggest need is offensive line. Other than any other position, offensive line is a massive need because you don't know what's going to happen with, Teller. You don't know what's going to happen with Jed Wills. There's so many.
Bitonio is on his last legs.
Bitonio's on his last leg.
DeJuan, you don't know what you have with DeJuan either.
Yeah, you don't know what you have with DeJuan. Conklin is like your entire offensive line is just all question marks.
Right.
So
and they all have the capability of being great, but you don't know how long they're going to last the season.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know how long they're going to last the season. It's all question marks. I think that for sure position that you need to shore up, whether it's in the draft, obviously you're going to do the draft, but whether it's the entirety of the draft, whether it's the off season or the rest of free agency, is you need offensive line, period. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't matter if you draft Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't matter if you draft Jalen Milroe. It doesn't matter if you draft Howard or Dart or Schaff. Don't matter who you draft. You need a fucking offensive line to protect them.
Yeah.
And if your offensive line is full on question marks, who's going to protect your guy? Who's going to protect Joe Flacco this year?
Yeah.
You signed up to be what? He's not going to run the ball. He's 40 years old. But it's one of those things where I think the biggest, and I think everyone has completely lost focus on this, is that the biggest need we really need is offensive line.
Yeah.
That's where everything needs to come to fruition. Because the one thing I love about this draft is the fact that this draft is loaded with offensive line talent.
Oh yeah, everywhere too.
And everywhere too, whether it's the first round or the seventh round, this draft is loaded. So this is a perfect draft to go out and get. Yeah, I don't care if you draft Hunter, a quarterback, and then the rest is just offensive linemen. Listen, I would take that. Like, make sure this offensive line doesn't need help for another decade.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me. I will. But no, in all seriousness, I that's the one position I don't see anyone talking about at all is offensive line. Whether it's a guard or a tackle.
And I mean, I can see why they haven't. It's because we do have a lot of needs. And
yeah, but I would say that's the biggest need.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest. You need a solid backup tight end. You need, a solid backup tackle, guard, linebacker, especially with JOK, sort of the unknown there.
Also, shout out to JOK for coming to the facility and like that's
he's walking at least. He's walking and stuff. So
him showing up to the facility the other day, if you all saw the video, he showed up to the Browns facility. I think that's a huge positive sign for things going forward, that he is going to play again and that he will be back out on the field sometime, whether it's this season.
Yeah.
So shout out to JOK for getting healthy, getting help, and hopefully this season he's back on the field again and ready to wreak some havoc. Because that dude was on the verge of a Pro Bowl before that injury.
Yeah, and I mean the season before that, he was probably a top 5 linebacker for us and really the league at this point when he was truly healthy, because he's a TFL machine. He gets sacks. He tackles amazing in space, and it just is unfortunate the way it happened, but if he can be healthy and play again, man, that would boost the Browns, I think, a lot. Even just the player sense, like the guys seeing him back out there would just like it would motivate the hell out of them. I really think losing him officially took the wind out of everybody's sails that was left of how terrible last season was, and having him back would be huge. But you still have to think about the possibility of him not playing this year, and if so, then yeah, you're gonna have to draft a linebacker. Now you did bring in Jerome Baker, which is nice. He's a solid vet. He's been in the league for a while. He knows how to play the position. I believe we still have Hicks as well. And then you also brought in Bush again to be the will. So again, you still have quality guys and quality pieces. You did bring in that DN from the Bucs. So like there are quality players here. It is about maximizing in certain positions of need and really starting to fill out this roster the rest of the way. And even after the draft, the Browns won't be done. I can guarantee you that much. But at least you will learn a lot from the Browns and kind of where their heads at, whether it's at quarterback, tight end, receiver, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm just excited for it to be done. I really am. I'm so excited for this shit to be done.
Me too, dude. I am just ready for everything to be done. I'm excited. I'm just excited to see what we do tomorrow. I think that's my big thing is I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I always love draft day. So I'm hoping that we get a good day with the draft, and I hope that we just make the right decisions. And I think that's the thing that I'm looking forward to or what I'm looking for is looking for the Browns to do the right thing and make the right decisions. Yeah. And to see if we can really trust this front office. Otherwise, the big question going into the offseason next season is what the hell do you do with this front office? Do you just blow it completely up, take the Haslam's out, blow everybody up, and just say, listen, we can't deal with this no more?
Right.
And then the next question after that is, do we beg Dan Gilbert to buy the Browns and revitalize the squad and build a generational organization with the Browns?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he could buy the guards too at the same time.
Yeah. So
advocate for Dan Gilbert to own Cleveland.
Right. So yeah, I guess without further ado, I guess we can get into a mock draft.
Yeah.
One final
mock
draft. Let
Yay.
me on the one. I will go ahead and do it. It's fun. So I will present my screen. Share. Mock draft. Share. Woohoo. All right.
Let me put it up here.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Woohoo. All right. Get out of that. We got the Brownies. Why is it not?
I think you have all teams selected. There you go.
There we go. Good call, because then I would have done that, and then that would have been terrible.
Yeah, you'd be grudging for the entire league, except for the Browns.
7 rounds, fast. You guys know the drill. Andrew, you ready to go, my friend?
Let's do it, man. Let's do this.
All right. Stupid ad. All right. Obviously, Cam Ward goes 1. We all believe the Hunter is going to go 2. We didn't get any sort of trades, so we're just going to roll with it. If we get trades that end up being cool, then we'll discuss them. But for now, listen, I know Carter is a machine, but look at this. He's only 6'3", 250.
Yeah.
For a DN, that's just not big.
Nope.
And you can't pass up on generational talent like Travis Hunter.
All right.
All right.
36 and 80. That's actually not terrible.
Actually, I'm gonna do this because we get 88 as well, and we only go back 3 picks. Fuck you, Bills, and fuck you. All right. So obviously we took pretty much a receiver. So here's what we decide. Are we going to go more running back here? Because we got Hampton, we got Henderson. We could go tackle. Could go. I mean, there's really no need to do
Gotta
corner.
back out Buka.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go doubled up on receiver, I don't know about that. Obviously you have Milrow there. Could go Landon Jackson. I love him. Caleb Johnson's right here, obviously as well. JT. So I mean, there's quality guys. Where do you want to go here? Because me personally, usually I'm either going running back or I'm gonna take a quarterback here.
I was looking more at either Hampton or Henderson.
Yeah. So I mean, Hampton's 5'11". He has a 9.7 RAS.
Which is ridiculous.
And I know he's pretty solid as well. Here's the thing about Henderson that's going to be difficult, I think, is his ability to stay healthy.
Yeah.
He has had the moments where he hasn't really been able to stay healthy, even for Ohio State, despite all of the great things that he has done. So for that reason, I'm going to go Amari Hampton. He is, I mean, besides, freaking Chanty, I would say he's the best running back in this draft.
Yeah.
So we're going to go running backs. Okay, you get 2 offensive machines to start this draft. I'm not doing that. No point. Okay, so here's where things could get interesting. We could go tight end here. I do want to see what quarterbacks are left and where they're at. So obviously we're out of the Milrow and Dart fiasco. So with this theory, you're not going quarterback until Will Howard or Tyler Shuck if you really like him, Ewers, or you wait and get like a Kyle McCord if that really is the plan. For now, though, I wouldn't mind taking one of these D tackles, but we also know that everybody is loving Harold Fannin. He is basically a Njoku prototype. I mean, he's almost a clone of him. So it really just depends on kind of where we want to go. He is obviously a monster. I mean, at 330 pounds, 6'3", that's a big boy. He's also a big boy as well. Alfred Collins is obviously great. He's 6'5" as a D tackle. That's gigantic. I don't think we really need to go safety. I mean, we could go tackle here if we really wanted to. We do know sort of how this draft tends to work, and we do have 88 next.
Yeah.
So we do have a nice string of picks coming up. So what are you feeling, Drew?
I was thinking either one of the 2 D tackles, like Saunders or Sanders, or who's the other one? Collins.
Okay, so you're not even going to think about Grant here?
I think there's a reason why he fell a lot.
He struggles to attack independently on pass rushing downs despite his physical tools. However, he's extremely effective as a run defender. I mean, as a D tackle, that's what we need. We needed run defending.
Yeah.
It's a powerful 3 technique. Also brings some juice as a penetrating 1 tech. Sanders appears to have strength and improvise.
I think he would be my one if we were to go D tackle. Would be Sanders.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to go tackle, and then we'll take our tight end later on.
Yeah, I think we could take tight end a little bit later.
Although, again, I will not be unhappy if we do get Fannin in this draft. Like, realistically, like he is definitely a guy. But let's go ahead and go with him. So we got 80. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So we could take the safety. We could take Shuck. We could take a tight end right here. I know they brought him in. Could also go edge. I believe we do need an edge guy. We haven't picked a DN yet.
Yeah, because team needs QB, wide receiver, offensive tackle, running back, DT.
Yeah, we could also go tackle here as well.
Yeah, we could also go tackle here.
Some good choices.
It's just really the route we want to go. Is if we want to go defense or if we want to go. Basically, at this point, it's either anywhere to defense or a tackle.
Yeah.
I would not be mad at Trapillo. I also wouldn't be mad at any of the other offensive tackles that are available. Let's see who we got. Charles Grant. Okay,
I know. Yeah, I know Brown's solid. He's great. He's big. He's awesome. He's pretty solid too. Jack Nelson's really good. There are quite a few guys that kind of go all the way down here. So there was some quality. We still obviously need quarterback at some point.
Yeah.
The safety, he's 6'1". But again, if you're going to think about Hunter playing safety, you may not need to take one early on like this.
This is a tough one.
Yeah. I know they really liked Ario, but I'm not really. We don't need to take the linebacker here. He's not that great.
No.
Shuck is a 9.7 though somehow, and he's 6'4".
Yeah, they're saying that Schaff is probably the more pro-ready quarterback out of anyone. But my issue with Schaff is the fact that, again, he has a lot of injury history and he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
So that's very concerning.
Here. I'm kind of debating on DN here.
I was kind of going more towards like an edge or D end.
Yeah.
Or edge.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kenner then.
Yeah. I like that.
We're not taking that. And then could still take our quarterback here if we really want to. Is Howard still on the board? He is.
Howard's not. Yeah, they have Howard going to like the 4th round.
So here's where we could get cool. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna stick with the trenches here.
Yeah. Get off of the tackle. I like that.
And then here is where you're gonna have to take Will Howard because otherwise he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, and I love how Tyler Schaff went just before him too, like one pick.
Which is that was hilarious. That was Tennessee that picked him, so they picked Cam Ward and
Schaff,
Tyler Schaff,
which is crazy. They picked 2 QBs.
Dumbasses. All right, so this is where we've usually gotten a safety or something.
Yeah, I would say all of our drafts we usually got safety around this part.
Because there was he's off the board right now. Somebody took him.
Oh, who they take?
Where's our homie from? How far did he go up? Yeah, him. He went to 146.
Oh wow!
Now
that's my boy. I love Kate Crawford.
Now I do know this guy was great.
Yeah, Hunter Wooler's great.
Marshall, this guy's also fucking outstanding too.
J.J. Roberts, wow.
He lacks top end speed and fluid hips.
He has above average size and length for the safety.
Doesn't do well covering 1-on-1. This guy's also pretty solid too. Be a challenge. Hook needs to refine his pass coverage techniques. I know Castro. He didn't really test well with top end speed and stuff, but he obviously played for Iowa. Let's just see who else is up here.
Seth McLaughlin.
Damn.
Caleb Ransall. Oh my goodness.
That's an option.
That is definitely an option.
Isaiah Bonds is also right here as well. That's kind of crazy, although we don't really need him.
Yeah, at this point, we really don't need wide receiver.
Just seeing who else is down here a little bit. Let me look and see who we got tight end left. Did our boy go? He fucking went.
Oh,
our fucking boy went, bro. I'm so mad. Our boy went before Mitchell Evans.
That's crazy.
What are y'all doing, motherfucker?
Oh, he went before Fedone too.
God damn. All right, whatever.
This is a weird one now.
Shit happens. All right. Well, we don't need to really take the tight end just yet. We could go Seth McLaughlin.
I'm cool with that.
Actually, I'm gonna go this corner. 9.75.
Yeah.
Fucking gigantic.
That's bizarre.
We
That's
took
awful.
we took our edge already, so we don't really need that. We don't really need our linebacker right at the moment. We should get linebacker later on at like 216.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But let me see who else is here. His instincts are improving and shows flashes as a blitzer. Good closing speed. However, he can struggle taking on blocks. Okay, that's not what we like to hear. He's solid. I know that. Obviously, this guy is rated really, really high, and so is his running mate. They're both ranked pretty solid. This guy from Utah is okay. I don't. Did somebody else also take fucking the other linebacker for Ohio State? Or am I fucking geeking? I think they did. I think they took Cody Simon somewhere. This is a weird draft, man.
This is definitely a weird ass draft.
This is unlike any draft that I've really seen in a while. This is fucking wild to me. Okay. Anyways, you know what? I'm gonna take our linebacker,
Lindenberg.
Inconsistent tackler.
Oh, don't need that. We already have too many of those.
So never mind. We're not gonna do all that.
We got too many inconsistent tacklers on defense.
What have been our picks so far? We've just got corner, running back, D tackle, edge, tackle, QB. Quarterback, corner. What have we not gotten? Tight end?
Tight end.
Let's go tight end. I know this guy's a freak. 6'3".
Conyers, yeah.
Let me see what this South Carolina 6'4". He's also a willing blocker with strength, though his technique at pad level can be inconsistent. Good athlete, good route runner. Cool.
Yeah, I'm cool with Conyers.
Especially because he can block and stuff too, which is nice. So we'll take that. All right. So we obviously just took him there. What did we? I thought I chose him.
You did. Go to my picks.
That went so quickly.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, because we had pick it was 5 picks ago or something.
Right. Right.
Well, now the question is, what position do we want to go with now? Or
right. Let's see what remaining running backs are left too, just in case.
Yeah.
Nothing really appetizing. Do we want to go like a guard? Ooh.
That's a good guard right there. Luke Condra. I've heard of.
You know what? Let's keep with the trenches. Why not?
Yeah, because we're definitely gonna need a lot of trench pieces. Especially offensive trenches.
This is where I'm gonna go ahead and reach and just get our guy because it's calling all of our guys perfect.
Oh yeah, I know it looked like he had said he was 214 and we got him at like 212 or something.
Yeah,
so it's not much of a reach.
That's why I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah. So this is the final pick.
Yeah. So we can kind of take whatever at this point.
Yeah, this is just a whatever pick. This one is because what do we have right now? We have
corner, running back, D tackle, edge, offensive tackle, quarterback, corner,
tight end, guard. Now the question is: do we stick with the trenches again and go another tackle? Do we go?
There's nothing on him.
Do we go another offensive player?
Good team. As if anybody's gonna watch this anyway.
Yeah. And then everyone just starts watching.
All right, what the fuck, man?
the one time everyone watches, they all tune back out. We get no viewers again.
Like my man, did you just shit yourself? No. No, I did not.
No, sir, I promise.
All right. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go Trevor Etienne just because I know he's pretty solid. So this is kind of a different draft than what we usually do. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, I can see the Browns sort of going this route. I don't know if they'll take edge quite as high. We'll see. Because you can still try to see if a Jack Sawyer falls to you or one of those guys. But getting Hunter, Hampton, obviously Will Howard on the back end and really just dialing in on the trenches is fucking huge. You get a tight end, two running backs, a good linebacker. I mean, you can't really complain about that too much. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen here.
Okay.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on that draft versus kind of how you foresee the actual draft going down?
I liked what we did. I thought what we did was actually fine. It's definitely a route I could see us going in. In reality, the draft is probably the most unpredictable thing in sports because nobody knows what anybody's doing, and half the time the teams drafting don't even know what the hell they're doing half the time. So it's just one of those in a sense that we don't know what's going to happen. We can't really predict anything. So if the Browns just do any of what we just did, I would be obviously completely happy with.
Right.
I guess my whole point and my whole realistic thing is that I just want the Browns to just for once not really
don't fuck up.
Yeah, just fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Just draft smart. Don't try to reach. Don't try to overdo anything. Just relax and get the guys that you need to get or that you feel will help out. Don't sit there overthinking. And I think that's the problem with like a lot of teams, especially the Browns. I think they like to overthink things, and it kills them in situations. This is the first time we've had a first round pick since ever. And we really have to capitalize and utilize it. So I'm kind of curious to see what Barry does now that he has a first and a second round pick, because we have had this since, was it, we got Watson, COVID, just after COVID? 21.
22, I think, actually.
Oh, was it 22? That was 21.
It was one of the years, yeah.
But you haven't had a first round pick since then. It's been almost 4 years since you had a first and basically a second round pick. You've been starting to draft in the third round, essentially.
I think Newsome was our last first rounder.
No, he was a second.
No, I think Newsome was a first rounder. I think he was like 22nd last.
Oh, was he?
Rounds first round.
Yeah, he was the 26th pick.
Yeah,
and that was 2021.
Yeah.
So that was after we got Deshaun Watson. So then afterwards we got Deshaun Watson. So we haven't had a first round pick since Greg Newsome in 2021.
Yeah, that is fucking wild.
So it's been 4 years since you had a first rounder.
And of course, the first year that we get a first rounder, we have a top 2 pick. So for the Browns, listen, if the Browns are even considering moving out of the top 3, you are just fucking up real badly. Like you can't afford to do this. You need to take the best available player. I get the people that want Carter, but here's the take that I am going to have to sort of solidify this. The Browns averaged 15.5 points a game last season.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense was not the biggest issue. We didn't have an offense. Now, granted, we needed a quarterback to help with that offense, but you need to give Jerry Jeudy some help. You need to give Njoku some help. If you're bringing back Chubb, you need to give him some help. The way to do that is having weapons. And then once you have the weapons, then you can bulk up for a legit quarterback at play
Mhm.
at some point, and it's going to happen eventually. That's why Travis Hunter makes the most sense. Plus, you can
Mhm.
still use him on defense, and he's going to if you pick him.
Yeah.
So, in my eyes, just don't fuck that up, Browns.
Yeah.
Quit overthinking it. The Browns should have been locked on Hunter a week ago.
Yeah.
At the very least, a week ago.
Mhm.
But at least by this Monday, they should have came to the table and said Hunter or nothing.
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely. Agreed.
what was the draft day thing?
It
Hunter, no
was
matter what, or
yeah. I
Yeah.
was yeah, it was I can't remember the guy's name they used in the movie, but um yeah, basically it's just Hunter no matter what. I've seen that meme a couple times from Browns fans. It was like Hunter no matter what or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like Javante Mack or whatever the guy's name was in the
Yeah.
movie. And it was like Javante Mack no matter what.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I got on the draft.
That's
Like I said, I'm just ready for it to be done.
yep, I'm ready for tomorrow to be over as well.
And then a quick update on the Cavaliers. They are up 93-80 at the end of the third quarter. They were up by 20 at some point, but Miami sort of climbed back a little bit. But the Cavs are rolling right now.
Yeah.
As expected, Evan Mobley is the high man right now, which I honestly thought was going to happen. Mitchell not shooting the ball too well, but he just doesn't have to. So unfortunately my bet probably won't hit, but it's fine. It's fine. It happens. It's free money. I haven't had to put any money on my FanDuel in like a month and a half because the amount of money that I won, I just kept sort of recycling. So it's been nice. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about a $10 bet losing. But yeah, man, that's pretty much going to do it for me. I don't know about you, but
That's gonna do it for me.
I'm all good in the hood. So, guys, we will see y'all next week with the results of the draft. Also, be sure to tune into like TikTok and stuff. We're gonna post some post reacts. I know Drew will probably be the one that posts on TikTok after we make our first pick.
Mhm.
I will be at a concert for the draft, so I picked the worst day to do that, but it's fine. It's for the lady, and I love my woman, so there's nothing else I can say about that. So we'll see you guys next week. Be sure to keep us looked out on all socials. We'll see you next time.